I'd like to show you a quick overview of how you can access tweets on Twitter and the sentiment behind the tweets to do analysis in Power BI. There's a few components that you need to be able to do this. You need to have a resource called Microsoft Cognitive Services, and the type of resource is called Text Analytics. This is to be set up on the Azure portal. Once you have created this, it only takes a few steps. You will have the designated API key that you will use for authentication later, and you'll also have a URL referred to as an endpoint. So these two values are important. Once you have set this up, you'll open your Azure Dataflow app and you create a new flow. I have already prepared one for you and I'll run that through now. I have chosen the first flow component to be for the Twitter app, which is available within Flow. I have chosen the action called when a new tweet is posted, and I am doing this as a test, so I've chosen to search for Twitters with the text of Power BI. Once the tweet has been posted, we add an additional step in our flow, which is to detect the sentiment. This is another feature that you get out of the box with Flow. You pass in the tweet text and the sentiment is then detected and decided through the text analytics piece that you set up on the Azure portal. So all the components working together to give you the sentiment. And that's it. You don't really need to do anything else. There's no coding or anything like that. All out of the box. To be able to use the sentiment in Power BI itself, what you have to do is you need to first of all go into your Power BI and you need to create a new data set of type streaming data set. I'll just quickly show you. You choose streaming data set. I've already created one. Now this streaming data set will receive the sentiments that I am collecting through my flow. So the next step in my flow is to add the tweet text together with the sentiment and the time that the tweet was posted into my Power BI streaming data set. So the workspace, as I just showed you, is sitting in my workspace. This is the name of the streaming data set that I created. I want this to be real time. And my streaming data set on Power BI contains three values: the time, the tweet, and the sentiment. And again, most of this comes out of the box. You just need to make sure that you have the two key elements created prior to starting on your flow, which, as I said, is the cognitive services for text analytics and your streaming data sets on your Power BI service portal. So once this has been set up, you can test it. So I have run a few checks already. Now you can see I'm searching on Power BI. So I'm going to rerun one that I did earlier. This detected a live post on Twitter. So I'm just going to rerun that for testing purposes. So it was quite quick. So I'm now going to have a deep dive to see exactly what it did. So you can see here that, I don't know where this post came from, but it was created at 13:04 on the 15th of October. You can see details of the text in here. So it's the latest Power BI. Desktop is out. Check out the brand new visualization. Tell us what you think. Happy face. So quite a positive one. And there's a few other details in here in regards to what we get from Twitter. So a few bits and pieces. What it then does in our next piece in our flow is detecting the sentiment. So it's looking at the text and it's deciding that this has a score of 0.99, etc. Now, 1 is the highest score, which means it's super positive, and 0 meaning very, very negative. So this is the outputs from your text analytics, from your cognitive services out of the box from Azure. The last bit is to add the row to the data set that we've got sitting in Power BI. And again, you can see here that the time factor is passed through, the tweet is passed through, so you can do a further analysis in Power BI if you so wish, and finally the sentiment. So all this data is pushed through to Power BI. So I'm going to close this. And if you go back into your Power BI, you can see that the streaming data set is sitting there real time. And you can now add a dashboard, and you can add a new tile in, and you can choose the custom streaming data set, and we've got one sitting here next, and then you can go ahead and you can choose the details coming through. This is an example. Okay, and then it's just to sit and wait for the data to stream in and do your analysis. Thank you.